So my friend Charlotte Korczak, who is one of the most first-rate Israel educators you can find, she went to Auschwitz for the very first time. And there she went, standing on the tracks that delivered over 1 million Jews in Auschwitz to their deaths. And she was waving an Israeli flag, a flag that symbolizes the Jewish people finally, once again, reclaiming self-determination in their ancient homeland, where they are able to fend for themselves, where they're able to defend themselves, when they're no longer the wandering, scattered Jew that was vulnerable to this kind of hatred and persecution in a way that they are simply weren't able to, have the kind of sovereignty and military that the state of Israel does today. And that flag, the Israeli flag, symbolizes the Jewish people restored dignity. And someone came over to her and told her to be ashamed for waving that flag. Presumably because this person believed that that flag represented something wrong. But this is just a sign of how sick the times that we live in are, where Israel is fighting a just war to protect her people, and they claim that that represents in some kind of way what the Nazis did. It is nothing less than pure anti-Semitism mutated into a modern form, where they try and say, you Jews, you try to fight to protect yourself? Well, no, that's unacceptable. That makes you a Nazi. It's sick. And I'm going to show you what happened in this clip, so you'll see how she confronted Charlotte, and Charlotte kept her composure so well and was fair but firm in her response. But the fact that this happened at Auschwitz, to desecrate this memorial to the greatest demonstrable example, display of what anti-Semitism can lead to, and this woman was utterly blind to what she was doing, is, to me, very, very disturbing indeed. Have a watch of what happens.
You're not doing this in front of a bunch of Jews outside of Auschwitz. Walk away. Walk away.
I don't care.
With
you want to killing
No, we're
children.
not. No, we're not.
Hamas
killed children.
I'm actually shocked by what just happened to me. I just visited Auschwitz for the first time in my life with an amazing group of high school students from Miami and a rabbi who led us through one of the most just special things I've witnessed, and also horrifically tragic things that I had to listen to and bear witness to. And then as we were leaving, I'm standing on the train tracks leading into Auschwitz, holding an Israeli flag, taking a picture, and a girl had the audacity to come up to me and ask me if I was ashamed. If I was ashamed for holding the Israeli flag.
What happened?
People have died since October 7th.
Guess what? How many Germans died? Do you know how many Germans died during this war?
My friends have,
Do you know how many Germans died?
leave their homes
Do you
because
know?
of you.
Do you know
my
how?
friends?
My
okay?
friends too. My friends too.
Did you spell?
My friends were murdered. My friends were murdered.
Your friends of what?
My friends were murdered.
Your friends.
My friends were murdered at the Nova Festival. My friends were murdered in a suicide bombing. Great. So how about instead of attacking me, you understand that hate doesn't help us? How about you understand something? Hate doesn't help. So stop hating me and instead ask me, not why I'm ashamed, but ask me, why do I support this? No, you didn't. You asked me if I was ashamed of myself. And the answer is no. I will never be ashamed to wear this flag, and I will never be ashamed of being a Jew. It's not complicated, because this is what happens to us.
I'm not saying nothing against Jews, because
yes, you are. If you go against this flag, then you don't even understand. Why did you come here? Why did you come here? To learn what? To learn history, to understand why this country exists.
I love you.
No, you don't.
I don't like.
This is the country.
What do you not like? Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you don't like. You don't like Zionists? You don't like Jews who believe that they should have a country so that this won't happen to them again? Yes, because this is what caused it.
No.
They wanted to kill us. They killed us for 3,000 years. Do you understand? We are defending ourselves.
No, this is not right.
You are. This is an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment.
I'm Israel, I'm Israel, I'm Israel,
עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו חי, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו, עוד אבינו חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי.
Standing on the train tracks leading into Auschwitz. Talk about somebody who doesn't have any shame. Not me. So, Am Yisrael Chai. But let's understand that even the people visiting Auschwitz have not learned the lesson that they should be learning from that horrific place. The horrific consequences of 6 million Jews, 1 million of them being killed in that place. And the reason we need a Jewish state, which is to prevent another people, another group, another country from being able to try to wipe out the Jews. Because now we have one place that we know will always keep us safe and will take care of us. And that's the disconnect. People don't understand. They don't understand that the Holocaust wasn't just the Nazis who killed the Jews. It was everybody else sitting back and watching it happen. That includes the Americans, that includes the Canadians, that includes almost every country in the world. So that's why we need Israel. That's why we will forever need Israel. Because an anti-Semite could walk out of Auschwitz convinced that she's not anti-Semitic, she's just an anti-Zionist, and yell at a Jew holding an Israeli flag. That's where we're at. We need to fight. We need to fight stronger and every day to keep us safe.
I have to tell you that, of course I know there's so much, hostility towards Israel out there. But to see this happening at Auschwitz, this one hit me really hard, to be honest, because it's such a desecration. It is such a desecration of this place, and it hit me hard as well because it's like, if you can't see this and understand this here, at this place that shows you so clearly more than you could ever imagine. I remember when I went to Auschwitz, I was like, oh my God, this actually happened. And it's like, well, of course you knew it happened, Ollie. You learned about the Holocaust when you were very young. But when you're actually there, it becomes so much more real to you. It's no longer just in a textbook or on a video. It's real. And if someone can stand there and not have the slightest understanding of that, and understand what anti-Semitism is and what it means, I keep thinking of Charlotte's words there, where she said, why did you come here? Why did you come here? To then go and scream at someone for waving a flag that represents the Jewish people having self-determination in their ancient homeland. One thing Charlotte said, she said, we need a homeland, a state because of this, because of Auschwitz. That's one reason. It's also writing people say, yeah, but then why should the Palestinians have to suffer? No, this is also a historic homeland we were forced out of and legally made our way back to, not through kicking people out. So it looks like this woman here genuinely believes she doesn't hate Jews. It's just the Zionists or this, that, the other. And yet the things she will inevitably be supporting and the things that she will inevitably be against become anti-Semitic in their actions. If you say Jews don't have the right to a homeland to defend themselves, which is what Israel's doing in Gaza with the lowest ratio of combatant to non-combatants killed in the history of urban warfare, and that's unacceptable to you, that flag needs to be taken down at a place that symbolizes what happens when Jewish hatred gets out of hand. I want to be generous to her, because it looks like she genuinely believes that she doesn't hate Jews, and she is misinformed. But I just wonder, if you can't get this when standing in Auschwitz, you want someone to take down the Israeli flag. I'm also taken so strongly by Charlotte's words about how does hate help here? And that for me also, it got so close to the heart of this all. Because it takes the bigger person to stand up and say that. And it really shows that the Jewish people, anyone that tries to claim we are the instigators of anti-Semitism, we are the ones, no. At every step, We have been trying to diffuse, just to live. And it has been our haters throughout history who have not been able to accept our existence, our presence. And what we've been trying to teach the world, despite its kicking and screaming, is to be able to make space for the other. That's one of the central core messages of the Torah. And that shows. When Charlotte says, you know, I'm reminded of that same video we saw a few weeks ago where there was a anti-Israel protester confronting these IDF soldiers on the beach. And the IDF soldiers said, you know what, come sit down, let's have a conversation. That shows that you're the more secure one, that you have the facts on your side, the morality on your side. Because you're very comfortable to look at things objectively. It is those who say, no, I'm just going to accuse, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to talk. That shows a deep insecurity in their side, a deep prejudice. Charlotte saying, how is this helpful? How is all this hate helpful? It should tell you all you need to know about the rights and wrongs of either side. But the key thing that I keep coming back to and keep circling back to is the fact that this woman who was at Auschwitz probably genuinely believes in her heart that the Jews are somehow the new Nazis, that they may well have experienced something tragic, but they are now doing something terrible to the Palestinians, or they did something terrible in 1948. You have to understand, and the only way anyone can change their position on this is to understand that the cause and effect of the Israeli-Arab conflict is not the cause being Israel doing something bad and the Arabs resisting. The cause is Arab ideological Islamic anti-Semitism. And the effect is Israel responding and protecting herself. The displacement they lament about in 1948 would never have occurred had they accepted what the UN proposed, which was just to divide the land in half. Because they said, you know what, there's Jews and Arabs living here. They both have claims to the land. The Jews probably have a far stronger claim to the land as a unique national identity with ties to this land. But anyway, we'll divide it. And they accepted, and the Jews accepted, the Arabs rejected. The Arabs wage a war against the Jews, and they get displaced in that war. What would you like the Jews to do? Just sit on their hands and do nothing? And that's the point. This woman and others would say, no, it's unacceptable. You're displacing these Arabs. Well, what would you prefer them to do? If you're saying, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm just anti-Zionist, but what would be the result of them just sitting on their hands in 1948? It would be all of the Jews dying, being thrown into the sea. And they say that's not anti-Semitism? Of course it is. So you need to get clued up on the history. So if you haven't already, you need to watch our documentary called Arab Anti-Semitism Before Israel's Re-Establishment. You can have a watch of the trailer, and if you want to watch it, the link's in the video description. Picture yourself. It's 1834, and you're a Jew living in Tzfat, which is a northern city in Israel, then under the Ottoman Empire. Your family is part of this ancient city's spiritual heart for generations. You study Torah, you trade in the market, and live quietly among your Arab neighbours. But one day, a mob storms your street, shouting, "Kill the Jews!" Your home is looted, your synagogue burned, your loved ones beaten. This isn't about Israel. Israel won't exist for 114 years. This isn't about settlements, the IDF, or the 1948 displacements. This is raw, violent hatred aimed at you for being a Jew. And it's not just in Palestine, it's part of a centuries-old story of anti-Semitism woven into Arab and Islamic history, from the dawn of Islam to the streets of Hebron. The claim that this conflict began with Israel's creation, the Nakba, or modern policies, is a farce, a distortion that collapses under history's magnifying glass. Welcome to JTV Plus. I'm Ollie Annisfeld, and today we're uncovering a history too often buried, the relentless anti-Semitism among Arabs in Palestine before 1948, rooted in a broader Arab and Muslim hostility that began with Islam's inception in the 7th century. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.